Yo! Welcome back to my channel. For those who have been here for a little while, and for those who are new here, welcome. Hope you had an awesome weekend. I certainly did. I just got back from an air show. It was pretty awesome to watch. Really enjoyed it. There were all these really cool planes that flew over. I hope to go back to that event next year because I really had a great time. I recommend if you're gonna go for that air show, get the VIP section because they give you like an area with seats in the hangar, and there's free entertainment and free drinks. So you're never overheated when you're down there. But yeah, before I begin with the readings, I want to get to the nerdy. So as y'all heard yesterday, MySpace is coming back, but a couple more things happened. I just found out today what happened over my birthday weekend. I admit, during my birthday weekend, I tend to lay low when it comes to news, but there's a lot of good stuff that's happened. So first off, I already knew this from being in Japan, but Pokemon is about to celebrate its 30th anniversary. Well, it's celebrating its 30th anniversary this year. So apparently in the United States, um, they're putting the Pokemon series on Disney Plus. But so far, as I heard from as of my birthday on August 7th basically on Friday, there's a bunch of Indigo League episodes that are still missing on the Disney Plus version of the Pokemon upload, and Netflix still has the majority of it, but thankfully you can just see the whole thing, almost the whole thing, on Tubi TV. It's basically been the savior of animation at this point. So if you want to watch some stuff, maybe go to Tubi, you might find it there. Also, apparently, let me see what else. Apparently they brought back Ash and Pikachu somewhere else, but and again, this article is kind of confusing, like the way they brought it up. But secondly, Shueisha is celebrating its 100th anniversary. Yeah. So Shueisha is one of the biggest manga publishers in Japan, and they're just celebrating their 100th anniversary. So in honor of that, they decided to start a website called Manga Million, which they released a whole bunch of hundreds of titles for free. You don't have to register for anything. You don't have to do any fancy login or a network spoof or anything like that. It is all free, no questions asked. It's for a limited time. I'm not sponsored by them. I just happened to find out about this. They are putting out all the big guns when it comes to their manga. They have Look Back. They have the entirety of One Piece. They have Captain Tsubasa, JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, Dandadan, Sakamoto Days, Nana, Hunter x Hunter. All the big guns that either have been completed or in progress or are still in progress in terms of serialization. It's all right there. And they're all getting translated in 100 different languages as well. So it's right there. It's limited edition, but go check it out for sure. Thanks to that site, I might check out the entirety of Nana as well as a bunch of other manga. So I'm super excited to read that. So for those who are big manga nerds like me, and especially if you want to brush up on your Japanese, this is a great way of doing so. Manga Million. So site's called Manga Million, and it's mangamillion.shueisha.co.jp, and then / whatever language you use, or you just press the globe on the top right side and just change it. There's 100 different languages on there. If you're an English speaker like myself, it's /en. I bet for Italian it's /it, etc. But long story short, go to the site before it vanishes, because Shueisha titles, especially hundreds of them, no less. Bruh. For a manga fan, rejoice. Okay? That's all I gotta say. So now that I got my nerdiness out of my system, per se, let's go straight to business, which is the Oracle forecast. Especially this week, it's going to be very interesting because we've got an eclipse going on, a solar eclipse. I believe it's in Leo because I know because the full moon was in Aquarius, so the new moon should be in Leo. The new moon and the eclipse should be in Leo. But yeah, tonight I got invited to a a full like a new moon ceremony. I know it's like 3 days before the actual one, but the weekend is often the easiest time for us to get together. So that's why I'm starting a little bit earlier than usual. But I really wanted to be here with you guys because I really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed last night. Well, more like yesterday, since it was almost the entire day I was there. Um, I really enjoyed yesterday, and I also really enjoyed just the readings you guys have delivered. Thank you. I tend to celebrate the entire weekend, not just my birthday nowadays, because sometimes the actual day of my birthday can get a bit overwhelming. So if there's anything else you want to share with me or talk about, feel free to just message me or chat with me or whatever. And we'll figure something out. That didn't feel right. Okay, let me just put that there. Oh, yeah, that one. That one jumping. Okay, so we got a few multiples here. It's okay. There's a couple for Friday in particular, and then, as always, I like to put my handy dandy Queen Herbie deck. Shout out to Sunny D, Sunny Me, fellow Queen Herbie fan up here, fellow High Priestess. I I want to get one of her tour shirts before they sell out since I missed out on the tour itself. And I'm having a hard time deciding between the tarot shirt and the High Priestess shirt. And then I hands down need to get that Howlite and Obsidian bracelet for sure at some point. But okay, so let's get to the days of the week. Got a couple of jumpers here. So let's start with Monday. Okay, I rarely get this one, but I have gotten it a few times in the stream. We got the Lovers. So contrary to popular belief, it's like one of the most misunderstood cards along with the Tower, the Devil, and Death. And somewhat the Wheel of Fortune, but the Lovers is one of the most misunderstood, in my opinion. Because yes, it can be in reference to relationships, but it's not the only thing it can represent. It can also represent dualities, equilibrium, balancing connections within and beyond romance, but also unity, forces uniting together. And soulmates, it's not limited to just romance and the physical chemistry. It also can be just people you happen to find a kinship with, a connection with, and the things that really bind and intertwine our beings together. And so Monday, it's a call for you to really pay attention to your relationships because it's important to pay attention to what dynamics are you inviting in, what will you no longer tolerate, the things that need to be communicated, most importantly. Because especially if you have a tendency to withdraw or spread yourself out too thin, might be time to come back home and just text and check in and see how people are doing, how people are feeling, etc. Just make sure things are copacetic. Things are flowing. Things are going okay. And it doesn't even have to be that complicated. Just a check-in text will suffice. So that's part one. So, number 2, Tuesday. Let's see what we got on our average Tuesday here. So we got the Two of Pentacles. So, Two of Pentacles. It's another mode of balance, but a different kind. Well, the Lover's is about balance in terms of energy and soulmates and various things that sync up with your energy and the dynamics of your life. The Pentacles are more so a balance within, or a balance of aspects that you've had to juggle. It sometimes feels like a balancing act, a juggling act, obligations, harmony within oneself. So this is more of a harmony with others. This is more of a harmony with oneself. And especially with the eclipse happening, this is literally the day before the eclipse, so you're going to feel the storm, like one of the strongest effects before the eclipse happens. This is a great time to really assess, where are you at this point? At this point, it might not be a good idea to go immediately into fixing mode. It's just more so at this point for both your relationships and yourself. I mean, yes, I just said earlier, maybe check in with your friends and your family, just make sure, hey, you guys are okay. But you don't have to go right to fixing mode per se. Right now, it's more so assessment, witnessing, getting evidence, contemplation, reflection, seeing where things actually are. And then you can take an informed decision, an informed action once you know what you need to know. It doesn't have to be perfect. It's just more so, making sure you're not putting your resources towards something that might not actually need it, and then the thing that actually does need the resources is kind of scant. So again, another bit of balance between, I'd say, work and play is the one that usually sticks out with me with the Two of Pentacles. And maybe also the other thing that's kind of standing out is between creation and reception, because you can produce so much, but you also need to fill your cup too in the process. So that's the message of the Two of Pentacles here. So Wednesday, which is the day of the new moon in Leo, as well as the solar eclipse, which is visible over most of Europe, North Africa, and pretty north of the United States and almost the entirety of Canada. The point of totality goes from Greenland all the way to Spain. So y'all in Europe are going to get the best visibility point for this. Down here where I'm at, we're lucky if we even get 10%. It's not going to be noticeable down here. New York, you might get about 30. British Columbia, but maybe more towards Nunavut, you might get pretty close to totality up there. Greenland, best shot for sure. So just to give you a heads up on that. And this is where, especially since it's hitting Leo, my birth sign. So any fire signs, and I think maybe Aquarius as well. I think y'all are going to feel this energy the most. I am already feeling it, and we haven't even started the week yet. So it's going to be pretty interesting to see how things turn out. So for Wednesday, here's what you need to focus on. And okay, given what it's going to be, it makes a lot of sense. It's right here. We're going to be in a fire sign, but I think it's very much going to be, this is a time of we're going to be probably the most in our feels, because this is when things are going to really open up. The Ace of Cups. So it's about newfound connections, relationships, friendships, hope. It's like emotional awakening and spiritual oneness, understanding that there's a deep connection beyond this universe, like beyond this plane right here. We need to embody it as well. Like that's the part that sometimes gets missing in spirituality, is the embodiment that like we're in these 3D bodies here and now. And so it's important to take care of this in multiple ways. But then also, we are emotional beings. It's okay to tap in these feels. And I especially call out my fire signs, my fellow fire signs, because we tend to be kind of tough. We rarely shed a tear unless it's something that really sets our fire off. Um, it's very easy to be like a tough stoic. It takes a lot to set us off. Maybe take some time and actually maybe let yourself shed a tear or two. Let yourself feel what you need to feel. And I know, especially for my fellow sensitives, it can get too much. It can get too much sometimes. But sometimes the overflow may provide a pathway to ease. Doesn't mean it solves all your problems, but at least it's the beginning of figuring out where to put the energy into some place that needs that softness. So that's my message for my Ace of Cups, is to remember to give that self-compassion. You don't have to tamp down your fire once it's getting to the point where it's burning things to a crisp, but bare minimum. Let yourself hope for more and hope for better. I know it can be scary, but hope is necessary to make the change you want to make happen. So allow yourself that, at least, even if it's just for yourself or someone you love. Okay? All right, Thursday. Here's what we got here. So we're getting all the misunderstood cards today. We got death. And this deck also classes it as rebirth, because that's precisely what it is. Because death doesn't mean like literal death. The death in tarot kind of plays more into surrendering to the cycle of life, or the circle of life, where there's transformation. And in this case, it's more of an ideological death. And this is pretty common, especially after an eclipse season. I mean, you'll still be in the shadow of it for about another week, a month at most, especially with a sign as intense as Leo. Excuse me. But after an eclipse, a new you will emerge. You remember yesterday's metaphor of the imaginal selves. And at first, yeah, it feels like dying, because there's a lot of things you may not recognize in yourself because of the transformation that you're going to undergo. But it's a necessary transformation in some ways to help you grow into the person that you've seen yourself being, and also to be more aware of the changes you already have done. Like you saw yesterday with the birthday readings, that especially with Hyun's planetary reading, the inner planets reflected where I had come from. Like the things that I think for the most part I've started getting past, if not have gotten past already. Of course, I'm human. I could easily cycle back to those things, albeit in a different plane, so to speak. But I can tell the way I look at those things is very different. Similarly, things conclude. That's inevitable. Things are going to conclude. Movies and TV shows end, stories finish. But eventually a new one begins. Sometimes with the same characters, other times it's with new characters entirely. Sometimes the same characters, but with new wisdom and knowledge that makes it different from the first time they came through. So, regardless of who are the main characters, the change is needed to bring freshness and momentum to the story. And the nice thing about this new chapter, as scary as it can be sometimes, and I know this from when I had to leave my job last year, and now I'm starting a new one in about 2 weeks. Yes, there can be fear, but also there is boundless potential. Talked about that yesterday as well. And so this is calling you to embrace that potential and a bit of the uncertainty of what that potential can bring. Because with that uncertainty comes creativity, comes growth. Okay, Friday. We got 2 for you for this one. So let's see what messages we got. So, first off, got the Ten of Pentacles. It's another ultimate fulfillment, kind of happily ever after. In this case, I feel like it's community fulfillment, especially with the Tree of Life imagery here. It's very, very much, I feel like it links to material and spiritual contentment interconnected. There is you and I in community, and connection and generosity and just being compassionate and supportive with each other. Not only despite our differences, but also because of it, because of our differences. We see the world in a spectrum of ways. And so we can help each other through that spectrum and fortify ourselves and the future that is coming up with all of us. And so I'm feeling like overall the ultimate call for this week is to keep an open mind. And when you act with the awareness of equilibrium with the things that you have been balancing within, and also the dynamics you're balancing with other people and other living beings. The multiple ecosystems, which is funny I say that because the other card that came up here for Friday is the Magician. And notice there's like infinity / the 8 going on here again. Magician is also the first card, like the first card that actually has a value. Like there's 0 for the Fool. Some next to number 1, but most of them do 1 for the Magician because it's like the beginnings of something stirring. It's also the place where all the power lies. It's the one suit in the Major Arcana that has all four minor arcana symbols occupying it, and on top of that there's the infinity symbol. Well, there's 2 of them in this card, with the 8 really, and then also the infinity symbol on the hood. But it just tells you that, like, I think the second thing that's telling me with this spread, besides remembering how we're all connected and even how we're connected within ourselves, it's also remembering that this is where Lionsgate really is putting the seed of that. Remembering that you have infinite potential within yourself, with what skills you can learn, with what you can create in your life, with how you can see the world. Like, beliefs can change. Like, how I saw the world back when I was they talk about it in terms of like loss of innocence, but I think in my case it also is in terms of orthodoxy, because I used to be very like one way like this. Doesn't have to be that. Doesn't have to be this one narrow way of living. I think now I feel like I'm more open-minded in a lot of ways, spiritually, compared to when I was younger. When I was younger, I was very much the law-abiding citizen, so to speak, of my spirituality. Now I still have my limits, but there's a lot more that I feel more open to trying compared to when I was younger. I would be down to write a book about the stuff if you guys are curious, or even a blog post. But the biggest thing to remember is your personal power. Queen Amber said it best. You are the magic. Remember that within you. So I got a couple of jumpers here, and then I'm gonna tell you a couple of songs from Queen Herbie. So got the Queen of Pentacles. She came up a little bit yesterday as well. Shout out to Messa. And I'm feeling like Queen of Pentacles is showing up here as a space of nurturing because these cards for this week, it's calling for a lot of transformation, a lot of dramatic changes. And so Queen of Pentacles is here to remind you that you're not alone. You're going to be held through this process and be nurtured. So the biggest thing you could do is trust it and know that you're going to be okay on the other side. Be really gentle with yourself as you go through this process. Because again, sometimes it can be uplifting and it's like, dang, this is awesome. Can we do more of this? And then there are other times where it's like, please, I am done. Please, no more. Regardless of the result, know that you are held. Know that you are supported. And you are not alone. Okay? So there's the other one. Other jumper. Okay. Hold on one sec, guys. Sorry. Stay tuned, everybody. Okay, we're back. Sorry about that. Okay, the other card that came up here, we're getting a lot of like parental guidance here this week. So the other thing that pulled up, because originally I was like, it doesn't feel right for the week. And I could see why. It's the King of Cups. So emotional equilibrium is the name of the game here. Especially paying attention to the points where you often feel overwhelmed or emotionally triggered or those points where you just need to like pause and tune into your emotional intelligence and negotiate, navigate what's coming up for you. Because the big thing is it's not about suppressing emotions like a Vulcan. It's more so giving yourself the space to navigate it. Because holding it down is probably what got you in the position you're in the first place. If you're struggling with trying to get things in check, if you tamp things down, that's where it's like it's clogging the system. It needs a place to flow, and if you don't let it flow, sometimes it just blows up somewhere where it will flow eventually. It's not going to be going through a direction it's supposed to go. It's probably going to destroy a village or two. So it's very much like be very observant as to how your feelings come up, and more importantly, how you express them. Give yourself space to have an outlet during this week, because eclipse season can bring up a lot emotionally and also in terms of downloads. So be really gentle with yourself. Okay? So that is the Oracle forecast of the week. And so a couple of songs that will be kind of the theme. A couple of these, I think one of these I pulled up on stream last night, actually. So we got Hacky Sack. Time to be the flower with the bumblebee. That's a good one. That's like the music video. It's pretty like down to earth way it's shot, but it's pretty good. And then the other one is, I don't remember this song as well as Hacky Sack, but it's called Dress Code. She's a pro, let them know. And it's like, if you've been through spiritual challenges like this, you're gonna be just fine. You're gonna be just fine. Okay. So feel free to look these up at your own time. Wish I had a steep enough copyright buffer that I can play this on stream, but it is what it is. It is what it is. And I tend to be rather quiet when I listen to music, so maybe it might be a good idea that I don't do that. No, don't do that. Okay. Oh, so hello, my nephew. Anyways, we have finished with the Oracle forecast. I think that's the way it's going. I am still having so much trouble with balancing my music volume, because sometimes I talk about music and then it's like the music's like non-existent on the stream and like y'all can't hear it, and then other times they say like it's too loud, please turn it down, but then it's like I can't hear anything on the on the channel, so it's like, how do I balance this? But I try, y'all. Okay. I'm doing my best. I'm also a little bit like I'm slowly getting my streaming legs back after being away for 5 weeks. So there's that. But at this time, the doctor is in. The high priestess is ready to accept clients. Ready for action. So, if you want to get a reading from me tonight, I'm only going to be here for about another 45 minutes. So, if you want a reading from me, this is the time to do it. So, for those who are on Twitch, it is !join. And then for those who are on YouTube, comment your question. I'll see if I can answer it. Only stipulation I have: no third-party surveillance. Don't make me presume what another person's doing, okay? Most I can do is maybe examine the dynamic and see how things can improve, okay? Or get like a first impression, a bare minimum. Okay. So. Alright, so I'm gonna take one person off the list because he did not tune in again. Alright. And Shadow Star hasn't tuned in just yet. So, alright, so Mesa, looks like you are my first read of the day. So, go right ahead and ask your question. That reminds me, I need to post your birthday reading on my tarot Qs and Qs thread on my Discord. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that. No. What? Excuse me? Yeah, what is wrong with people, honestly? Like, people do cosplaying because it's fun. You don't have, like, it's like, if you're only seeing those kinds of cosplayers, that's ultimately, like, you're just not searching far enough, honestly. And Black people do have cool hobbies. Case in point, I go to Ren fairs. I haven't been to a Ren fair in about a year now, but I'm planning to fix that once the fall hits. I also go to conventions of various kinds. As you probably know, I travel. I do so many different things, and I'm part of a band right now. I just joined a band just before I traveled. But yeah, it's like number one, we're not a monolith, and number two, we can do some pretty interesting stuff. Like, get to know us. Please get to know us. Take some time. Ask some questions. Please and thank you. uh, yeah. Because I know what assuming does. It makes an ass out of you and me. Everyone's telling you no. Gotcha. Well, I see. Okay, we could actually, like, I just got an idea. We could actually continue clarity on some of the stuff that we talked about. Like, I know we talked about it a little bit yesterday, and like the spread that I did for your birthday, albeit super belatedly, but like that spread that I did for you for that. The poll that I did yesterday covered mostly the first half. Do you want me to like shuffle for the second half? Because I could do that. Because I mean, I felt like the big focus is on the first half. Okay. All right, let's do that. Sounds like a plan. I need to figure out how to do this because I got like way less space than usual. Yeah. Ooh. Okay. All right. So I just uploaded the image onto I almost said Twitch. Upload the image onto Tarot Q's and Q's. So let me see. So I'm feeling I want to pay attention to the significator, which is the thunder. So clearly some sort of progression going on. And then that is so funny. You also got the earthy in the same position I did. That's really funny. And you also got the voice, the time, and the change. Okay. Alright. So here's what I got for you. Let's hopefully we get some more clarity. I'm feeling tempted to pull a rune here too. Yeah, I'm feeling a rune as well. Okay. Okay, came down face down that time. That's face down too. Huh, okay. Got a couple face down runes here. Okay. Let's see about the second half and the significator. So first off, we got the Two of Wands. Which is kind of interesting. So you got the Three of Wands earlier. Seems like more of a definitive... It feels like more of a definitive decision. Let me zoom in. Hey, get one of those black magic boxes that switches between settings pretty easily. But anyway, yeah, you got the Two of Wands here. So I'm feeling like there might be some sort of decision you might need to make during the second half of the year. Well, the second half of your personal year, which is like the beginning of next year. Something seems to be coming up then. They need to make a decision upon. Thankfully, it's not like the Two of Swords where it feels like you're at an impasse. Here, it's more so in terms of the decisions are more so like, okay, which one do I just looks more appealing to move toward or make progress? What's going to be the better adventure to go on at this juncture in time? That's what it feels like the second half is going to be, especially since the first half is very much about shutting off obstacles, and then the second half, it's more like now that the obstacles, all the shackles have been shed off, it's more so, let's see what we can do. What else, like, to quote Isabella in Encanto, it's like, what else can I do? Like, this plant is spiky, it's prickly, but it's still my creation. It's me. What else can I do with the abilities that I have? Is the question. I feel like the Two of Wands is coming up here. So that could be, I mean, considering that a lot of ability cards are coming up with the earthy, the voice, the time, and the change. It just feels like it's just a lot more things you can tap into coming up in the next year. So a couple other cards we got here. We got the Hermit. So obviously it's going to be a lot of introspection. And the Hermit especially, it's more voluntary, the introspection, the inner reflection and the contemplation to really pay attention to the voice within. And I think especially, I'm feeling the sense that it could be like, this could be the time of like better connecting with your higher self. Because there can be a tendency to feel like you have to externalize to get permission to be able to move forward in life. And what the universe is often calling for, at least from what I'm feeling so far with what's been happening lately, then again, it's my experience, so your mileage may vary on this, but I feel like where a lot of patriarchal spiritualities tend to like go towards outsourcing, this is more calling in terms of like co-creation, or even, if anything, listening more to your inner wisdom, listening more to your instincts. And I feel like this introspection is going to be making it easier to hear what your inner voice, what your higher self is trying to tell you. Because even your higher self is an aspect of the divine too. Because you are a child of the divine. And I don't mean it in like an arrogant sense of like, I'm God, but more so, you were created from the same spring. So all the more reason why you need to learn to tap into it more, right? You need to like hear what it has to say more. And sometimes the things it has to say can be pretty surprising, like earth-shattering even, but very necessary to hear. So the final one, I had a feeling this card was going to pop up with somebody, and congrats, Messa, it's you. So, funnily enough, you remember when I said it's not like the Two of Swords, it's not like the Two of Wands, not like the Two of Swords, where there's kind of a hard impasse. Unfortunately, eventually there will be a hard impasse you're going to come across, which is a Two of Swords. So there's something that you're going to have to, like, there's going to be a hard decision that maybe you've been putting off for a while, but eventually you can't put it off anymore. You do need to make a decision, because no decision might not be the best one to do, because then a decision will be forced upon you, and it's the thing that you probably didn't want at all. So all the more reason why, when you get to a difficult place, a decision is better than no decision whatsoever. I also can see, actually, thinking about it now, the Two of Wands, the neutral opportunity of like, okay, both things look good, which one do I take? If you wait too long, the Two of Wands can turn into Two of Swords, where it's like, eventually you're just going to have to make one. And it would have been better to make it when it was a much softer landing with the Two of Wands. So another thing that also came to me, it can also signify where maybe your old self might have seen those decisions as this, but it's actually this. Or vice versa. This, it feels like this, but then it looks like this, but it's actually this. Regardless, you need to trust your inner GPS. That whatever you choose will eventually lead to the outcome that is best for you. I'm feeling a song as well, so I'm gonna shuffle that for you. But I'm gonna get to those runes in just a moment. But yeah, I feel like the second half is very much like tapping into some inner wisdom, and also just really paying attention to the decisions you need to make. And also, welcome Sam Jane. Welcome to the stream. Glad you can join us. You're actually the next person on the list. Shadowstar369 hasn't shown up yet. Shadowstar has until basically my next tarot stream, which is happening on Saturday, like this upcoming Saturday, to jump in. So yeah. So far, Shadowstar hasn't shown up again. So you're the next person unless Shadowstar shows up. So got a couple of I'm still in the middle of Messa's reading, but I'm pretty much almost done. So we're gonna get there in just a moment. So in terms of the runes, we've got a couple here. They're both reversed. So let's see what we got. So first rune we got Isa, which is in the 8 of Heimdall. Yes, exactly. That's what I'm feeling with that. And then the other one that I got is Perthro. These are interesting runes that I'm getting here, because I've had Isa and Perthro before, but just not like this. Okay, let's see. And then Perthro is part of the it's also part of the 8 of Heimdall. So Heimdall's really calling you out. Wonder if there's anything about like what we talked about yesterday. Anyway, so Isa means ice. So upright, it means the need to move slowly forward, reconciliation in love or family, wise caution and slow progress and preparation. When the blank side is up, which it was, it means feeling totally stuck in a situation or relationship, being unfairly cast in the role of scapegoat for family or marital failings. Isa is the rune of ice, and like Haglas, it refers to the 5th element in the Norse tradition. The rune poems talk of the coldness and beauty of Isa. The Norse rune poem sees as a bridge between dimensions that needs to be negotiated with care by those who are perhaps blinded by the fear of going forward. However, it must be crossed before the ice melts and the chance disappears. When Isa appears in a reading, whether we have frozen ourselves into inactivity or circumstance prevents us from moving forward, this is a good time to begin any negotiations, make reconciliation attempts to difficult or stubborn people, and take the first steps towards future change. A good omen for beginning to pursue a new career. If the blank side is facing up, which it was, examine what or who is holding you back. Perhaps the time for change is not right, or you are uncertain of the right move. In this case, it may be better to wait and let the ice melt in its own time, but don't accept unwarranted guilt for others' stubbornness or negativity. I feel like once again, there's like more hints of like the first half of the year, but it also could apply to the second half too in terms of how to approach the decisions. So it's kind of like paying attention to when you need to kind of act with haste, which is what Isa is really Isa is basically implying. Like there are some things you might need to like speed up with it. Like what I was saying earlier, like the wands will turn to swords if you wait too long. But yeah, I'm feeling also it's kind of more hints in the first half with like the lock and the shield going on in the first half of the year. So Perthro, let's go through this one. So Perthro is the gambling cup, and strengths when it's upright, which it wasn't. It can mean unexpected good luck because of taking a chance, the reemergence of the real essential person you are inside, which is, I mean, I was talking about higher self too, so wow. Okay. What really matters to you, standing up for your beliefs. When the challenge side comes up, when the blank side is up, it means leaving everything to chance, believing you can't change the situation, therefore not trying to, excessive risk-taking and speculation. Perthro is the rune of the lot, or rune cup, in which the ancient warriors tested their luck. The old rune poems talk of play and laughter in the beer hall, for gambling and rune casting were sometimes one and the same and a joyous process. Testing their luck, which warriors did in both gambling and rune casting, reflected the will of the deities whether for battle, exploration, or more personal decisions. At the same time, the gambler or diviner was expected to take appropriate action to maximize good fortune or avoid any potential pitfalls. In doing so, they discovered the endurance of their real self. with both strengths and weaknesses, vices and virtues. When Perthro appears in a reading, you will soon discover secret or unknown information that will be of great advantage. Value your real essential self and stick to your principles rather than trying to fit into the expectations of others, whatever the pressures or incentives to do otherwise. Take a chance, as it is lucky time. Try an interest or develop a talent you have always wanted to try but did not dare. Perthro signifies that the energies in your life are right to express and make true your secret desires, fantasies, or dreams. Perthro asks you to value yourself because you can be no more or less than what you already are. By being true to yourself, you will find a new fulfilling happiness that depends only on your own efforts and talents. If the blank side is facing up, maybe you're taking one too many chances on Lady Luck delivering, especially financially. If fate has recently dealt you a bad hand, the way you act or react can make all the difference. Even so, don't accept the blame for others' inadequacies, which you may find offloaded onto you. So, I'm feeling the common theme of this is like, try not to take like other people's blame or circumstantial blame so seriously, like as if it's like written out in your fate, so to speak. That's like the most message I'm getting. And then the other thing that especially is coming up with Perthro in particular, which I feel like is going to be very relevant for this week in particular because of like the eclipse season, is this sense of trying not to box yourself into the expectations of others and taking a chance on the things that you might have otherwise been discouraged about experimenting with. So, especially with this eclipse season, go ahead and give it a go, because you never know what fruitfulness can come on the other side of this. So, got a couple of cards from Queen Herbie, and I got a couple of songs here, and oh, I love these songs. I know both of them. My season may have ran out of my family until it ran into me. The first, like, one of the big lines in that song is, laughing while my whole life's collapsing. That's like the sense I'm getting from this. And then the other one, Mission. It's my theme song on Group Me. Fun fact. Gotta get the roots before you get the fruits. Gotta lock in. Gotta make sure those roots go deep in the soil and get all those appropriate nutrients to grow awesome fruit. Okay. Well, that's what I got for you, Messa. Hopefully that gives you a bit more that you can work with. Feel free to ask me anytime if you need more depth. All right. So with that, 111 Sam Jane 111. You are next, my friend. Of course. Yeah. Okay, we're back. No, we're not. Oh, man. You really love playing with the divine, don't you? Maybe that's why Perthro came out reversed. No, you don't. You can also do like a general check-in as well. Pretty much the only thing I don't do is like third-party surveillance stuff. Otherwise, I can pretty much handle anything. Love, career, money, life. All previous reincarnations are actually future ones. But yeah, I could do a general check-in. Yeah, okay. All right. So I can do some general advice around that. Totally. So I got tarot, I got runes, I've got oracle, I've got various kinds of things that I do here. So feel free to come back anytime too, because like I pull out all the stops. And I also do personal readings as well. So, like, if you want something, like, this is like scratching the surface, honestly, because I go through so many people at once. So, if you want like a more one-on-one context, feel free to check out my coffee page. I'm running a sale right now. Like, pretty much all my major offerings, I'm running that for like $12, which is the equivalent of 2,000 yen in Japan, because that was about how much I paid for readings when I was over there. Like, that's a steal in USD, honestly, for a reading, because like most readings here, especially if you want to go for the more in-depth stuff, you're gonna have to like pay between like 35 to maybe, like, for a really good reader, maybe like 100 or 120 bucks. You're lucky if you even can find like a $20 reader or like a tarot for tips kind of deal. So is this your first time in like tarot TikTok? Oh, sorry, not tarot TikTok. Oh my god. I see that in TikTok pops underneath. But it's first time in like tarot Twitch. Because I feel like this place has been a really awesome community so far. And I've only been in tarot Twitch for a year. Well, next month will make it a year. But this community changed my world. I'm not gonna leave my gaming world anytime soon, but like I really love the Twitch environment. Not the first time, it's been ages since I was last on. Ah, okay. Nice. And then these runes I got from a women's retreat a couple of years ago. Like, they were just giving it away, and I was like, and then I pulled out whatchamacallit. I pulled out Sawillow, and it's like, that's like a symbol of like, okay, yeah, definitely need to get this thing, and it's been a great companion ever since. And Sawillow, well, Sawillow is like the symbol of the sun. So, okay, this is kind of funny. So, like, I pulled a couple of runes. It was one I was like, okay, I pulled it out in the last one. Like, why are you coming up here? No. And then it was like, and then it came out, I was like, no, this is for this reading. I was like, okay, noted. I live in you live in Aotearoa. So a lot of the time there's not much when I check. Oh, yeah, because it would be like towards the evening hours for us in the US. So it's probably around like, let me see, like 7 a.m. for you guys right now. Like 7 or 8 a.m., give or take a few hours. So it's pretty early for you guys. Oh yeah, I typically run late, but I started early today because I have an event I'm going to tonight. Okay, so let's see what we got here. Oh, okay. All right, so here's what I got for you, Sam Jane, and I'm definitely gonna pull a card from this one as well because I like playing with music too, as you can probably see from the background. I would love to be able to play these songs, like a few seconds of a song here, but copyright strikes, they're getting really bad lately. Hey, G-Rock. I'm doing some readings for the next 18 minutes, so if you want something from me, now's the time to get one. Okay, I'm feeling this one. I'm gonna give one more. I feel like one more. Because the songs tend to go pretty quickly, because like some of them I actually don't know as much as I should. But okay, here we go. Here is for Sam Jane. So, first card I got for you in terms of your career. You got the Queen of Cups. So, I'm feeling like for your career and money, I'm feeling the sense of emotional equilibrium is very key at this time. Because if you go for it for just the money, you're going to get tapped out real fast because you can only go so far just for the object. Because like money alone, even though yes, there are people who like do things for the money, like hyper capitalistic areas will do that, but for the majority of people, money alone is not gonna cut it. Okay. You need to like really pay attention as well to the motive of why you're doing this in the first place. Get deeper. Why do you need this money? What do you need to put it towards? Obviously these are fundamentals like food, water, utility, shelter, all that kind of stuff. But allow yourself to dream bigger. What else is there? And see your work as a mode of devotion towards that aim rather than just a means to an end. So that's one way of putting it. I know it's basic. I understand that maybe it's a very privileged mindset. I totally get it. I mean, I'm in pretty dire financial straits myself, but I think being able to enjoy at bare minimum what you do, even if it's just for mental escape purposes or something basic, it's better than nothing. Also, hello Tipsy. Welcome to my tarot stream. We're getting a lot of new people. I'm so glad. Thank you for tuning in. So I'm going to be here for another, I think I might be able to maybe like squeeze in one more. So if you want to jump in the queue, type an ! join and you can jump in. Okay. So next we got justice. So justice is very much about like natural law and checks and balances and accountability and integrity. And that's especially important when it comes to your work. Like when you're going into a new position. Excuse me. Pay attention to how your coworkers act in the face of when things go wrong, or when there's a difficulty that emerges. Mission statements, especially how bosses do things, or the work process. If it feels like something's off, if it walk like a duck and quack like a duck, guess what? Affleck! Just keep an eye out. Okay, like one eye open about like how people do when it comes to their integrity and consistency. That's important. And especially look at it within yourself too. Don't get it to like a hypercritical extent where you can't move or process things. But it's important that when you have due process, that is like work rules or work style regulations, don't let fear take the driver's seat. Instead, let the process speak for itself. Let yourself be open to multiple avenues of help, and pay attention to cause and effect in terms of the things that you do, both in terms of career and money. Like, be very conscious about where you put your resources, which is kind of funny I say that, because the next card is the Lovers. One of the most misunderstood characters in the tarot. And they often focus on in terms of romance, but it's also about synchronicities. It's about connection, soulmates, what brings us all together. And I think with career and money, it's important to pay attention to the ripple effect, because the ripple effect, even the butter, like it's like the butterfly effect, but it's also a ripple effect. Like, small things do ripple out. And I don't mean like in terms of like a universal scale. So just that one small decision can make a big difference. Like, to give you an example, I just happened to be emotionally depressed when I couldn't make it to Queen Furby in Philly. And the next day, I bought myself a Chipotle burrito. It was slightly discounted because it was like free chips and guac day. But as a result of that one purchase, I couldn't see her this weekend in New York, and it was her final day of her tour. So I'm not being able to see her live whatsoever in person. So really pay attention to your spending, for sure, where it goes towards. Like what's your tendency when it comes to spending? Do you spend it just because it's like convenient? Do you spend when it gets emotionally intense and you kind of use it as like an emotional outlet? Like, how do you spend? And I don't mean it in terms of the numbers. It's also your motivation too. You don't have to go too deep into it. You can just bare minimum just like observe, hey, what's going on? And you don't have to come at it in terms of a sense of judgment or criticism. It's just acknowledging, hey, this is what's going on. And I can also see things differently from here. And then it's more like a gentle nudge rather than a shove that makes you trip over and fall on your face. I felt the urge to pull out one more card in terms of the tarot, and then we're gonna get to the runes real quick. And I pulled out Six of Cups. Ooh. Six of Cups, I kind of look at it as like the childhood, like a childlike innocence and nostalgia card, because like you see like the phases of when this pup is a kid, like this kid and the pup who are young, and then like now they're adults later, or like they see themselves in the future where they're like adults, or maybe that's vice versa, where the adults are imagining themselves when they're younger. But regardless, it's kind of like reconnecting with what makes you excited. I think that's the key thing with your career advice is reconnect with your excitement, reconnect with your whimsy, whatever that made you happy, be it as a child or even what makes you happy now, and see if you could bring more of that or making it a regular occurrence in your work, and especially in your life outside of work, because we are more than our job titles. We are more than whatever's in our bank account at the end of the month. We are human beings with multi-dimensional lives. We are children of the divine, that we have infinite connections to infinite possibilities in this world. There's so many things that can happen for us, and for us, by us, to us. So you might as well be open to it all. So I got a couple of runes here. They both came out upright, so I'm going to read them real quick. So we got Fehu, and then Isa came back, albeit upright for Sam Jane. So Fehu is the first one in the 8 of Freya, and then Isa is in the 8 of Heimdall. I'm not going to read that one too much since, like, again, we had it earlier with Messa's reading, but I will be quick here because I only have so much time. Okay. All right. Fehu. Okay, here we are. Fehu, cattle or movable wealth, such as money and possessions. Which is funny, this is like a money reading. Side up, symbol side up means prosperity, especially through your own endeavors, financial security, successful property negotiations. I would say prosperity negotiations, but it's kind of similar. The reduction of financial problems, unexpected good luck. The basic meaning of Fehu is wealth, especially in the sense of money or assets built up through hard work and used when needed. Cattle were a mobile asset as the Vikings took them along to the new lands, but the Old Norse rune poem warns that greed for money causes strife among kinsfolk, and so we should not be obsessed with making or holding on to money at the price of happiness. It's very important to remember. This rune often appears in readings. Consider whether it relates to the issues of emotional rather than financial security, and whether the true picture is being revealed. If the blank side appears, which it didn't, there may be questions surrounding divorce or family inheritances. This is a good time for any speculation or money-making schemes, especially involving ventures further from home, including via the internet, and an improvement in any money worries. So especially when it comes to money and emotions are like this. There's a reason why there's a lot of like water imagery or water connection when it comes to money. I mean, we're talking about like earth as well with money, but like water is also a huge element in money as well. Especially talking about growth and especially cash flow as well. It's very natural. So I also call upon paying attention not only to your emotional sense with money, but also maybe seeing what your relationship with it is with nature. I know I sound kind of woo-woo with this explanation, but sometimes, yeah, it does tie together. And also activity. And this is where I say motivation with money is very important to focus on, because you put towards something like maybe improving your health, or putting towards like activities that you know are going to make you happy or make you feel better at the end of the day. That's important, okay? So all the more reason why it's important to pay attention. Where's everything going? Where's it going? So, next we got Isa, which means ice. And upright, it means the need to move slowly forward, reconciliation in love or family, wise caution, and slow progress in preparation. The rune poems talk of the coldness and beauty of Isa. The Norse rune poem sees it as a bridge between dimensions that needs to be negotiated with care by those who are perhaps blinded by fear of going forward. However, it must be crossed before the ice melts and the chance disappears. So there might be a decision that you might need to make pretty quickly, whatever that is. You might know what it is. Whether we have frozen ourselves into inactivity or circumstance prevents us from moving forward, this is a good time to begin any negotiations, make reconciliation attempts to difficult or stubborn people, and take the first steps towards future change. A good omen for beginning to pursue a new career. So it's tying back to career again. So I feel like this is a pretty thorough reading that really hit all the points in terms of career and money. But it's very much, it's calling for consciousness. Oh, I love these songs. Okay, so these two songs here, Gorgeous and Chakras. We are no longer sick, accepting negative energies in our space, and guess it's time that I come out of the spaces I've been hiding in. Especially with career. Do not be shy to show up and show out your skills. I know people have been talking about keep close to your chest, especially in this economy, but in some cases, especially if you're trying to carve out your own path, show up, show out, stand out. Of course, use wisdom. Don't play your hand too quickly, but don't hide in shame. Okay? And also, do within your means too. Alright? So that's what I got for you. Got for you, Sam Jane. Thank you so much for tuning into the stream. Feel free to come back whenever you want a reading from me. So I think I might have time for a couple more people. So G-Rock and Tipsy, I think you should be my last couple of today. Of course! So glad you could be here. The G-Rock and Tipsy, I think you're my last two of today, and then I'm gonna have to go prep for my event. So, ooh. Alrighty, we're getting some messages here. Alright, G-Rock, what's the question you got for me? Or was it another general? Because my chat can be so funny. So glad that you can be here too, Tipsy. Thanks for tuning in. Yeah, you guys are my last two. Because I don't think I'll have enough for one more. Because I got to prep for tonight. Ooh. That was very much missing. Alright, G-Rock. Oh yeah, I just remembered something, Sam Jane. One more thing. I kind of remember, the other thing that I tend to say when it comes to jobs is I tend to look at it most people tend to talk about it in terms of it like being a date. I look at it more as looking for colleges because the application process is very similar. Hopefully minus the fees. But yeah, pay a special attention to the mission statements that the companies have, because that could tell you 80% of whether or not it's a good fit for you. Think about your beliefs when you want to get out of your career, and then see if it matches up with the mission statement of the company, and then see if the company actually lives up to said mission statement. If they do, that already is half the battle already done. So G-Rock, you want another general? I figured. Yeah, there can be too much going on. I totally get it. Okay, so I got 4 cards for you. So, I swear I shuffled y'all. Queen of Cups again. So, Clearly, there's very much like a theme of emotional equilibrium that's being called for. Lovers, again, there's like so much calls for equilibrium. Got two of the cards we've come up with earlier in the stream. It's happening again with the Queen of Cups and the Lovers, and it's very much about like balance and calling for syncing up. And hello, Gemea or Gemea. I'm sorry. Unfortunately, I had to close the queue because I am going to be going to an event pretty soon. But please feel free to come back. I might come back later for more reads if I have the energy after tonight's event, or come back on Saturday. Saturday for sure. It's when it's like a free for all when it comes to readings like this. So please come back. But anyway, yeah, it's just like it's calling for emotional equilibrium during this period because it feels like you're going through quite a bit. And remember, especially to pay attention to your relationships. Remember, the Lovers is not limited to romance. It's about like relationships in general. Like remembering that you have connections everywhere, and you don't have to go through everything by yourself. And the Queen of Cups, especially, it's to pay attention to your intuition, your instincts. Your mind may go through a ton of things, but your gut, your body won't steer you wrong. So very much pay attention to your intuitive intelligence, like your gut intelligence, your sensitivity. So a couple new cards thankfully popped up. We got the Page of Cups and the Star. So if you've been feeling like you've been losing touch with your whimsy, the Page of Cups is going to teach you how to do that. And I've been saying this a lot about like sometimes you just gotta let the pigs fly. You just gotta let the pigs fly, and dream it possible. Which is funny, if Dream It Possible actually shows up like today, that'll be really hilarious. But it's like, expect the unexpected. Let yourself think of the impossible and the ridiculous, like the most ridiculous trajectory possible sometimes. Because sometimes it can get exhausting thinking about like, God, this thing isn't working out. Maybe take a moment and realize, what if it does work out? Mellow Tarot sitting in the same place as you next to her window with her bed in the background. Yeah, when it comes to readers on a budget, it's very common. But yeah, what if it does? What if it all works out? Play with that for a little bit. Like, what if it all worked out? What would you be doing? And then maybe try, like, whatever actions are feasible at this time, try them out. See what happens. And then the Star. Let yourself dream. Let yourself wish for bigger and better things. Let yourself enjoy it all. Let yourself see the possibilities. Let yourself daydream. Because even daydreaming is a mode of manifestation. It might feel funny and ridiculous at first, but that daydreaming is so important to do, because then it kind of reminds you like, hey, you got the magic within you. You got your imagination's not gone. It's still here. Let it go. Let it get to work. Let it put itself to good use. Help yourself get excited about life again. There's hope. There's hope out of the situation. So remember, the situation's not forever. And then I got a couple songs for you. I'm surprised that like Daydreamer didn't come up, but got a couple for you. Got Juice. No can, no concentrate. I'm fresh. And We Got This. I'm gonna sit back and enjoy the process. Oh, these are good songs too. How I recommend. Like, actually, I've never had a bad Queen Herbie song. There's some where it's like I might have like a few where it's like, maybe at this point it might not hit, But most of the time, it's like, when it hits, it hits. Okay, so that's what I got for you, G-Rock. Hopefully things start improving. Oh. Okay, so, like I said, Tipsy is my last one. So hopefully you are here. Okay, perfect. Okay. You'd like a general reading with maybe a bit of focus on love because things happening there, and overall guidance would be nice too. Okay, you got it. All right. So, general reading with a dash of love. All right, let's see here. You're so welcome, G-Rock. Thanks so much for tuning in. You're so regular, and I really appreciate that. Like, shout out to my regulars, like Messa, Starry Momo, G-Rock. Like, y'all have been so awesome. And for all those who haven't come back in a while, I still think about you. Don't worry. I miss you guys. Feel free to come back anytime. There's no shame in it. I'm super excited to see you guys whenever you do show up. And for those who are new but didn't get a chance to get a reading from me, don't worry. I'm pretty much here every weekend. Sorry, spiritual family. Oh, God. You're really gonna get on. But yeah. And to all the new people who've been tuning into my channel, thank you so much for tuning in. I'm sorry, guys, for like having like so many things just spontaneously emerge event-wise. But I assure you, I mean, I know like once I get like a regular routine in terms of my job and once I get a regular routine in terms of my job, and then also just finally having like a bit of like independent cash flow between this channel, but more importantly, my work again, I think things will finally start to smooth out and I could like focus more on actually being fully here as a creator rather than being in constant survival mode of how do I put out this fire every few moments. So I really appreciate you guys just being so generous and understanding. All right. That's what we got for you. Yeah, it's feeling kind of quiet with this one. Usually I'm pretty active. Like they're pretty always like, "Ooh, pick me. It's like, hey, Hyun. I'm actually going to an event afterwards. Otherwise, you'd be like, tell you what, if you happen to still be awake after I get back from my event, I'll pull for you off camera. We actually know each other offline. The other thing you might notice is that like some of the people that I know offline, like off stream, and there are other ones that we just got to know each other when we just chat for a while. All right, Tipsy. Well, off. Not live, when we're not live like this. You get what I mean? Off stream, yes. So, yeah. It's been a long day. Off live, not off. Yeah, off live. That's what I meant. Yes. So, whenever I get off this, let me know. They also like to call the Atlantic Ocean the puddle. Which, I mean, considering it's not that big of a difference, I understand why. But the Atlantic Ocean's not a puddle. Anyway, this is for you, Tipsy. So, general advice. So, 9 of Cups popped up. Gosh, it's like me and Runcie and Ketchup. Long story on that one. More on that 11. But anyway, 9 of Cups. 9 of Cups, I kind of consider, with this, especially this version of the deck, it feels like a dream come true card. So whatever it is that you intend to have or wish for in this life, say, like, say yes with your full chest because it's happening for you. Like, ooh, I don't know why I thought of this. Like the song Ray, Where is My Husband? Recently, there's apparently been talk that, like, apparently she went to Six Flags with Michael B. Jordan, and people are saying like, date? Is this her husband? Or her future husband? Is her husband here? Did her grandmother call it? I hope that at least the bare minimum, the paparazzi leave them alone to actually like discuss and see where their chemistry's at. Maybe they could all, for all we know, be friends, which some people do start off as friends before they become like lovers sometimes. But long story short, affirm what it is that you want and say yes with your whole chest and explore the opportunities that you have in front of you. And there's a lot of opportunities. The biggest difference between people who might be able to like go for those things that may sound like woo woo or weird, and the things that make life that like just feel I don't know, I'm having trouble with words, sorry. The difference between lives that can feel extraordinary and lives that feel kind of plain. Yes, privilege is part of it, but also it's mentality, like how you see the world can make a huge difference. Like, you know how you meditate on something and then you think about maybe like an article or a bird, and the next one you see like references to whatever you read in the article or that bird every single place you go. Same thing when it comes to the things that you want. Whatever you want to do, it's not going to pass you. The biggest thing is having faith that it's going to come your way. And then also, more importantly, combine it with aligned action as well. Do whatever small thing it is to help you meet in the middle with the universe, so that way eventually it bridges. And then, boom, it's happening. That was me in Japan. It at first started with very small steps about learning the language. It took me several years, though. Then eventually, it was a big leap. Then going to Middlebury, I'm in Vermont. And then I met somebody who actually went to Japan not that long before that and recommended this program to me. And so I'm only the program director literally during the holidays. And then by February, I was accepted into the program. Months-long struggle of trying to get the funds to go for it. But eventually, I went for 5 weeks. I just came back a couple weeks ago. Well, now getting to 3 weeks ago now. And now I can't stop thinking about going back. Because now I have that bridge. I formed the bridge over several years, but I eventually formed that bridge. So I hope it doesn't take that long for you. But nevertheless, small things make big impacts. So have that faith. Have that faith. Even if it's like a mustard seed. Even if you're full of doubt, but that mustard seed's all you got. Better than nothing. Better than nothing. Exactly. Okay. So the other two tarot cards I got for you. 9 of Pentacles. We're getting the nines. What if it's like 999? 9 hours, 9 persons, 9 doors. Hopefully not that, but... But I'm getting the sense that you have been taking some actions already, which is great because it looks like some things are starting to like blossom here. And so now it's kind of like whatever things you have fulfilled, celebrate those things. They deserve a celebration. It doesn't have to be like super elaborate. Just enjoy your accomplishments. Might be some things that you may like. You also need to like be deliberate with your choices about like which things may need a little more time on the vine and other things that, okay, it's ready to harvest. Let's enjoy it now. But let yourself enjoy your success. Whatever it is. Could be, I woke up today. I didn't ache and pain at the gym today. It could be, oh, I said a PR. I finished on my work and I went home without anything I have to take home today. I came and left on time. use that good feeling to your advantage. You did so much work. You might as well enjoy the fruits of your labor. And with Saturn retrograde happening right now, especially, it's like overdue payback for all the effort, all the transformation, all the good things you've been doing up to this point to turn things around. So relish in that success, because that success is meaningful, especially for you. So celebrate you. Thank yourself for everything that you've done. All right. So finally, we got the Ace of Pentacles. So I feel like it's something blossoming in this plane at this time. Usually the aces, they're very much about like new beginnings, the stirrings of a new idea, of big potential, new ideas, new ventures, planting seeds for future success, adventures, prosperity, abundance. And it's not limited to financial abundance either. It could be like prosperity in terms of like richness of life, richness of your surroundings, of dynamics, of connections. And Pentacles especially tend to look at it as like the 3D plane, like the here and now, like what's in front of us. And a lot of times with like spirituality, there tends to be like a focus on over there, up here. And it's okay to enjoy the here and now. So embody, be here, feel all this. And the last couple of things I got for you. So for those who tuned in earlier, if you just scroll all the way back to the beginning of the stream, that's where like our collective songs are. So we got a couple of things here. Hacky sack. Hacky sack's been coming up quite a bit in the stream. And violence. Cockiness and confidence I ooze. So whenever you go for that new career and that love, own it. Do not be afraid to speak out with what it is that you want. Don't be ashamed. Be you. And if they can't handle it, it's 1-800 not your problem. That's when they got to introspect themselves. Okay? But yeah, Queen Herbie's a spiritual rapper. She has these really good songs. Some of them have been like memed on TikTok and stuff. She and her husband are part of this group called Carmen before they switched to Queen Herbie. But yeah, I love their songs. But yeah, with that, we officially have ended the stream. I'm going to have to go run, so I'm going to have to rush through the outro. So next tarot streams on Saturdays and Sundays. I do this every weekend. Game streams are starting up pretty soon. And then during late August, early September, we'll be study abroad vlogs. Charities of the season is Betweeniors Network and Japanese Red Cross Society for Kumamoto disaster relief. I do a Japanese English online exchange group every Monday at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 10 a.m. Japanese time. Discord listening party resuming August. I will put the poll later on tonight. Discord listening party. I already said that. Queen Herbie Elf Queen Tour ended last night. Check out her TikTok for the shorts. Like I said earlier, having a sale right now. 2,000 yen special extended until this Friday, which is basically the majority of my offerings offering at $12, which is about the equivalent of 2,000 yen. Other ways you can help me grow: continue tuning to the channel via ad revenue, subscriptions, or turbo. There's donations. You can also purchase items. I do readings right there. It's way cheaper than what I'm seeing on the screen here, so please check it out. Here are my socials. Simulcast on these two channels, so if you happen to lose the video on Twitch, it's on YouTube. So feel free to reach them there. Vlogs will be on this channel, Theological Otaku. Substack, coffee, throw in wish list if you want to buy me some stuff. Same with Hype C, it's another shop. Finally, episodes filmed in the homes of the Nanticoke and Lenape. Check out native-land.ca for more info. Whew, managed to do it. Okay. Well, I sounded like gibberish for a moment, but hey, I managed. Unfortunately, no raid tonight. I gotta run. But thank you so much for tuning in. Hope you all have an amazing rest of your weekend or beginning of your week, because I know some people are already on the next day. But until next time, stay safe out there. Remember, you have the power to thrive, and you are the magic. And as always, may your heart be your guiding key. Till next time, I'll see you later. Bye. Okay, maybe I'm lying. I'll definitely raid. But anyway, I'll catch you later. Bye. Wow, I rushed, but we did it. Whee!